Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at 13 hidden or secret features on the Audi A6 C7 models. The A6 C7 was built between 2011 and 2018. In the European region, they sold around about 700,000 models. In the Americas, though, it was more like 145,000. Now, this is my personal car. It's a 2016 C7 Avant Black Edition. It's a 2-litre diesel version. They're very popular cars, they're very tasty cars, and hopefully in this video I'm going to show you some things that maybe you just didn't know about these cars, secret features, hidden functions and things like that. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is the fuel cap. When you're filling up with fuel, don't just let the gas cap dangle against the body, because you will get fuel dripping down the side of the bodywork and it can cause some horrible marks. Instead, you'll find a little opening, a little hole right here. Pop the fuel cap in there while you're actually filling up. It'll stop any drips getting down the bodywork of the car. And then when you're done, just pop it in back there like that, and you've been able to fill up without any mess. The second thing is a key trick. If you press and hold the unlock button, you'll see that it automatically winds down all of the windows. And the complete reverse of that, if you press and hold the lock button, you'll see that all of the windows go back up. Right, so there are two different ways to lock the car. The first way, obviously just as normal, just by pressing the lock button, that simply locks the car. I'm going to unlock it there. What happens in a situation whereby you've pulled up outside of a shop, you've got the kids in the car, you've got the dog in the car, you still want to be able to get out, lock the car, but disable the alarm, because if the kids are in the car, the dog's in the car, they're going to be moving around, that alarm will go off. So the way to do that is simply just by pressing the lock button twice in quick succession. So once, twice, you'll hear two little clicks from the vehicle, and that will signal that the car is locked but the alarm is disabled. So therefore the kids can move around freely, the dog can move around freely in the car while you're outside of the car and the car's still locked. Now this is probably quite a common theme along a lot of cars, but what happens if you unlock the car but don't actually open any of the doors? Well, what will happen in this particular car is that after a certain amount of time, the doors will automatically relock themselves. And I think it's around about 1 minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the unlock button, press the start on my stopwatch here, and see how long it takes. Right. That was exactly 1 minute. So there you go. If you unlock the car, don't open the doors, it will automatically relock itself after 1 minute. That's 60 seconds. Obviously, you don't need me to point that out to you. Okay, so next up is this annoying beeping noise. Anybody who's ever driven one of these cars will know exactly what I mean when I do this. I'm going to open the door here. And it's that really, really annoying beeping sound. You can simply get rid of that just by pressing one of these arrow keys. So it just makes the whole experience of opening the door with the ignition on or the engine on just that little bit better. Just remember to click one of these arrow keys. Next up is the window speeds. There are two different speeds at opening and closing the window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely put this down as fast as I can. And you see how fast the window is going up and down there. However, if you press the button lightly, you will see that the window comes down at an altogether slower pace. And then you can also put it back up at a slower pace. Notice that? And then I made it a bit faster. So I'll do that again. I'll start slowly when putting it down, now faster. Two different window speeds. Right, so that bloody beeping sound. Next up is something that I would say probably every single Audi A6 C7 owner should have, and it's a tool which actually tells you the genuine mileage of your vehicle. So it gives you the ability to understand as to whether your vehicle has been clocked in previous ownership. What generally happens is if somebody wants to reduce the mileage of the vehicle, the mileage is generally reduced on the speedo cluster and not the actual ECU of the vehicle. So the ECU is like a store of the genuine mileage, and there is a tool that you can use in order to find out the genuine mileage which is on the ECU. So that gives you a good idea as to whether the vehicle has been clocked, as I say, before you even bought the car. So I'm going to pop the link to this kit in the description below this video, but you'll see that this vehicle has 99,103 miles on the clock. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into diagnostics, we're going to go to Audi, we're going to select the latest version, we're going to go to VIN identify, just basically means that the tool will automatically find the VIN number of the vehicle. Go to control unit, make sure that the ignition is switched on, go to the engine electronics, go to view data, go to data list 3, and in this data list it's around about something like 130 something in the list, so we'll get there in a second. Right, so I'm just going to scroll up because it's the quickest way. You can see we've got 185 of 200 here, so we need to scroll up to 130 odd until it tells us vehicle distance driven, this one here. So we select that and we click on F1, done. And then it's going to give us a reading. So the kilometers that this vehicle has done is 159,495, which I've got on my phone here, a little conversion. It gives you the reading in kilometers. You can change it to miles, but you can see here the kilometers is 99,103 miles is 159,490 kilometers. And it's giving us the reading within a couple there, so we know that's correct. A few discrepancies over time can occur. If the discrepancies are small like this, then it's not a problem. If you were to see a big difference, you know, like a few thousand miles, then you've got a general idea that the car has previously been clocked, which is not a good sign. So anyone who's maybe thinking about buying one of these cars, or anyone who has one of these cars and you want your own peace of mind, then I would definitely recommend getting this tool. It also does all of your other diagnostics. It does service resets, diagnosing warning lights, resetting warning lights, DPF regenerations, electronic parking brakes, battery registrations and things like that. But as I say, I will pop the link to this kit in the description below this video. Alright, so next up is a little bit of a mirror tip. This is the control button for the wing mirrors here. Now you can see if we've got it in the straight up position, this just is in the defrost section. If we pop it to the right, then obviously you can adjust your driver's mirror. That's if you're in a right hand drive, obviously the same if you're on the left. And if you pop it into the bottom one, it just automatically folds up both mirrors. However, what you can do is pop the mirrors back to where they should be. If you pop it onto the left or the passenger side mirror and then pop it into reverse, you will see that the mirror dips down a little bit to give you a better view of what you're reversing into on the passenger side. I think I've fumed myself. I think I need to get some ventilation in here because the engine's been running with these doors locked. Alright, so next up, if we take a look inside the glove box of the car, what you will find at the back is like a little turn, sort of little round thing, where what you can do is if you spin it one way, it opens up into like a little hole, and what that does is that allows air to come into the glove box. So what you could potentially do is, if you've got like cold drinks or anything, you could keep them in here and you could allow them to stay cold. That's obviously only works if the air conditioning is running. On the same token, if you wanted to keep something warm, then you could put it in here, and if the warm air is on from the HVAC system, then warm air will come through this hole. Alternatively, you can just completely shut it off and just have this natural temperature. That's a good little option. I mean, it's not going to get them like icy cold or scorching hot or anything like that, but if you want something that needs to be kept cool in the summer, like a drink, pop it in there, put the air conditioning on and turn that open so the cold air will come through onto the drink. Alright, next up is a little heating trick. You can see I've got my heating on quite a low intensity, but I've got it on the highest temperature setting. Let's say I wanted to nip into the shop. It's a really cold day, but I needed to nip into the shop for a few minutes, and when I get back into the car, I don't want to have to sort of then put all this back on again. There's a little tip you can do to actually keep the heat or the air conditioning, whichever setting you want, to be continually running while you're in the shop if it's just for like a short period of time. I think it lasts for about 10 minutes or so. So what you can do is, if you just, let's say for example, you're getting out of the car, you stop the engine, obviously the heating's gone off completely here. So if we keep pressed the fan button, you can see my setting comes back on, and I could get out of the car, lock it, and this setting would actually stay on. So it would also work as well. Let's say you needed to nip into the shop and you had a dog in the car during the summer, you need to put the aircon on, even if it's only for a couple of minutes. Keep the aircon on, keep the dog nice and cool, and then when you come back, whatever setting was on will just continue to stay on when you start the engine and start driving away again. And then on the passenger side seat, there is a little compartment, like a hidden compartment just under here. I don't know why, I don't know what you could possibly put in there, maybe like an umbrella or something. It's a really small hidden compartment. Maybe a few of you drug dealers might find that useful, but there it is. So if you've lost your owner's manual, the owner's manual can be found on the MMI screens. It's really easy to do. What you need to do is click onto car, and once you're in the car, click on the top right, which we're going to click into handbook, and then Audi A6 owner's manual, and then you can choose whichever section you want. So you can go to controls and displays, for example, view of cockpit, controls at a glance, and then it's going to start giving you all of the information about the vehicle itself. So it's a full in-depth owner's manual actually on the MMI, which I think is a really good little feature. And finally, we've got one more hidden function or hidden feature. For whatever it's worth, I don't know if it's going to be even useful to anybody or not, but there is like a hidden menu which you can get up on the instrument cluster here. And to do that, what you need to do is the engine and ignition needs to be off. All right, so what you need to do is hold this button here, okay, and then press this button here. So what that will then do is, you don't need to press the pedal or anything like that. You don't need the foot on the pedal. You don't need to start the engine. Just simply switch the ignition on, and then that will automatically open up a new menu in here. I do apologize if the camera goes completely mad here, but I'm going to press that, then I'm going to press that, and then I'm going to show you straight away this hidden menu which comes on the instrument cluster. Now, if that is of any use to you whatsoever, then great. If not, then I guess it's a little bit useless. But there we go. All the same, it's a little hidden menu. There is another green menu which apparently can come on this screen here, but I can't find the way to get it on. I think there's like 2 buttons that you need to press at the same time, and I've tried like about 50 times, and it works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. Maybe it needs to be activated with VAGCOM or something like that. But in any case, that's a little hidden menu for you. So there we are. I hope you found that useful. I'm off now to hook myself up to an oxygen tank, because I think I've completely poisoned myself with all of the carbon dioxide coming out of the back of this car while it's been running. But in all seriousness, no, this is a car that I absolutely love. It's super practical. It's been fantastic for the 9 or so months that I've owned it with the family, the dog, and I'd highly recommend anybody getting one. Don't think twice about it. Much better than the BMWs or the Mercedes that I've had, the equivalent Mercs, the equivalent BMWs. This is just streets ahead of those cars. So if you found this useful, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos on this Audi, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.